I would like to call to order the November 2nd, 2023 meeting of the Colerain Township Zoning Commission. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it flows, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome to all in attendance, township staff, and my fellow commissioners. As always, just a friendly reminder to silence your devices at this time. Mr. Becker, can we have a roll call, please?
Of course you can. Mr. Bachman? No, Mr. Bachman. Mr. Gehring?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson? On his behalf will be Mr. Hauser
Yes.
and Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Thank you. And for tonight's agenda, there is no presentation of minutes. Next, we do have an opportunity for a public address. So we do want to welcome members of the public to address the Zoning Commission with any items on tonight's agenda. However, if you are here for either of the public hearings, your comments would be heard during those hearings. Is there anyone present who would like to speak? Seeing none. We also do not have any final development plans to see tonight. So that does bring us to the first of two public hearings scheduled for tonight. The first case is ZA 2023-19, a zoning map amendment for 7102 Springdale Road. And Mr. Becker, do you have a presentation?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, Ms. McMullen. We are working with, as mentioned, ZA 2023-19. That is a map amendment from B2 General Business District to R3 Suburban Low Residential District. And as mentioned, that is taking place at 7102 Springdale Road. A little bit of background information. The applicant will be Charlene Younger on behalf of property owner Marion Frederick. And as mentioned again, it is currently zoned as B2. That is our general business district. Here would be that zoning map far out at the bottom left corner there. More zoomed in, here is where you see that difference in zoning where her property is in the red. That would be the B2, and then that sharp cutoff directly after her property right into R3. Here's a physical map, zoomed out, zoomed in. Property map, and lastly, our topo map. As for the case history, so at the last meeting on October 17th, this case was introduced as ICR 2023-06. That'd be our informal concept review. At the meeting, Charlene Younger, who is the daughter, on behalf of owner Marion Frederick, appeared before the Colerain Township Zoning Commission to informally discuss that rezoning of the .597 acre property that is. It contains a single-family dwelling, and it was purchased by Charles and Marion Frederick on July 25th, 1967. With the initial adoption of the Colerain Township resolution, that was back in 1996, the property was rezoned from residential to business, and due to a recent attempt by the property owner to then sell the property, the commercial zoning designation created a conflict for the buyer and the finance company. The owner believes that the current B2 General Business District label has thus created a hardship and makes the property virtually unsellable as residential. And from our last meeting, a special meeting was set for today on behalf of the staff and commissioners. This is in pursuant to ORC section 519.12A1. As for the requested action, as mentioned, seeking to rezone that property from B2 back to R3, particularly due to issues with selling the property as residential rather than commercial. There would be that application, and again, that letter of intent. And once again, this is all posted online in the agenda packet for the second. Here's their site plan. This would be a zoning map once again, just a little bit more zoomed out to give you sort of an idea of where the extent of her B2 is in relation to the rest of the R3. As for the zoning resolution and the relevant information, we'll be working with 4.3.1, that'll be amendment initiation, 4.3.4, review criteria, And 1.1.1, that is our purpose statement. 4.3.1 states amendments or supplements to the zoning resolution may be initiated by motion of the zoning commission. And for 4.3.4, once again, the amendment is in accordance with the Colerain Township Comp Plan, Colerain Township Land Use Plan, other adopted plans or policies of the township, the zoning resolution. And then as for 1.1.1, except as otherwise provided in this section, to be in the interest of public health and safety and in the interest of the public convenience, comfort, prosperity, or general welfare. So, based on these provisions, the rezoning of 7102 Springdale Road from B2 to R3 does alleviate a hardship, that being the ability to sell the property as residential, which was created particularly through an error in prior zoning decisions. As for our recommendation, we would recommend approval of case ZA 2023-19, and we do not have any conditions with that. And that will conclude the staff report.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for staff? Okay, at this time, we do need to open our public hearing. Do we have a motion and a second, please?
All motion to open a public hearing on case ZA 2023-19. Second.
Mr. Becker, we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Gehring,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Westfall,
Aye.
and Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Okay. It does not look like anyone has signed in to speak during the public hearing. I just want to. You don't have to. But you would need to step to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please. So if you can just state your name and address for the record, please.
Charlene Younger. My address is 11426 Lincolnshire 45240.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
I just want to give just a few notes. As explained at the last meeting, and as you saw, my parents purchased this home in 1967, raised 4 kids there, and celebrated 63 years of marriage. My dad passed away last year, July of 2022. Earlier this year, my mom decided that she no longer could take care of the property and struggled with living there without my dad. So in August of this year, the house was listed, and then within weeks, the house was sold, we thought. Closing scheduled for October the 13th. 2 days before closing, we learned, as you all know, that the house was listed by the township as commercial property, and the loan would not be approved. In all the years that my parents have lived in this home, no notification was sent or information communicated to them about this change. The mortgage changed hands several times, and not mentioned one time. While the township did support us in writing a letter, the language still stated that if the damage was greater than 60%, that no residential property could be then rebuilt on that property. As a result, the buyer backed out. Because of this error, my mom lost the sale of the house. She put closure to the living there, attempting to adapt to her new living arrangement. In addition to this, since then, she's now continuing to pay Duke, water bills, homeowners insurance, and obviously beginning to worry about the looming tax bill that will come as a result of this home not being sold. She also has a reverse mortgage, which is accruing several $100s a month. She is on a fixed income. She was very relieved to think that maybe the house was sold and put closure again, but now is realizing that a burden with her limited income is continuing. So we are obviously asking for the property to be changed to residential, and really just coming tonight to ask if there's anything you guys can do to help us too. Obviously, the interest rates are going up again. The interest in the home has waned a bit, and it's a lot for my mom. And so I don't know if there's anything that additional that you have ideas about that we can do, or, but I appreciate your time and meeting tonight. I know this isn't not a typical thing that you do, but we really do appreciate this because my mom's 87. and she's living in independent living arrangement right now and kind of getting used to that. So all of this has really taken its toll on her. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Becker?
Mr. Gehring,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Westfall,
Aye.
and Ms. McMullen.
Aye. Commissioners, any additional questions? Okay, if not, we do need a motion.
I'll motion that we approve case ZA 2023-19 regarding the residents at 7102 Springdale Road, changing the property from B2 to R3.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Becker, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gehring,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Westfall,
Aye.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. The motion carries. And we wish you and your family the best of luck.
Thank you. Will we get notification that the changes occurred of any sort, or how does that work?
Mr. Miller or Mr. Becker?
The map amendment that shows the zoning on that will be changed. We'll send you a letter on that as well. The final approval is actually based on this recommendation that'll go to the Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees has the final vote, and that'll be scheduled for November the 14th. Right, so that's when that approval will be done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And if you didn't want to stay for the next part, you certainly don't have to. All right, so next up, we have a public hearing for zoning case ZA 2023-20, a minor amendment to an FDP case ZA 2016-09, which is 3955 Generation Drive. And Mr. Becker.
Thank you, Ms. McMullen. As mentioned, once again, this will be ZA 2023-20. This is a minor amendment to FDP case ZA 2016-09. Once again, this is at 3955 Generation Drive. Applicant will be Sean Page, and with us is Tim Wiley. The property owner for this property being the Colerain Township Board of Trustees, and the current zoning would be PDI, that is our Industrial Plan Development District. Here's that zoning map zoomed out and zoomed in. That would be an R3 to the left, and that would be a PDB to the south, by the way, as well. Physical map. More zoomed out. And zoomed in again. Property map. And lastly, our topo map. As for the case history, this will mark the beginning of the history for case ZA 2023-20 specifically, but specifically seeking an amendment to 2016-09, that is, which addresses the PDP and the zoning changes, that being the PDI change for Rumpke HQ as well as the industrial park. Following that case, the 2016-09, Resolution 6-17 was signed on February 14th, 2017 by the Board of Trustees. That establishes and addresses the conditions and variances for the FDP, as well as the construction permits and maintenance of improvements. From that resolution, Condition 3 states, all buildings on the site shall be designed to meet the setback requirements of the zoning resolution. So the requested action today, the applicant is seeking a variance to the FDP, that being KZA 2016-09, to adjust the front yard setback requirement from 100 feet to 35 feet. Here's the application, checklist. Here's their site plan. This would specifically be the existing conditions plan, sorry. Now here's their site plan. And then lastly, this highlights that current proposed setback. I calculated that out to be 37.46 feet. That's what it says in the red box. And then as for the zoning resolution and the relevant information, we'll be looking at 9.3.5. Those are the permitted uses for the planned development districts. Table 8-2, that is our business site development standards. And then again, 4.3.4 and 1.1.1. So very easy. 9.3.5, permitted uses. The uses that are permitted in the I-1 district, simply put, PDI. Therefore, the minimum front yard setback would be 100 feet. And then 4.3.4 again, the amendment is in accordance with the Colerain Township Comp Plan, Land Use Plan, other adopted plans or policies, and the zoning resolution. Then 1.1.1, except as otherwise provided in this section, that it is in the interest of public health and safety and in the interest of the public convenience, comfort, prosperity, or general welfare. Staff findings, we determined that the request for a minor amendment does in fact correspond to the standards and provisions laid out in 9.3.5, 8-2, 4.3.4, and 1.1.1. Therefore, with the landscaping, grading, parking, size, area, erosion control, storm maintenance, all the requirements, it would not be possible for the applicant to meet that 100-foot setback. Based on a thorough review of the site plan, including the detailed revisions and clarifications along the way, such plans, except for that front yard setback, adequately meet the provisions of the Colerain Township zoning resolution, and granting a variance to the setback would not otherwise impact the health, safety, or welfare of the public. And also at this point, I do want to add in that there is a setback of 100 feet between a PDI and a PDB, and to the south side would be the PDB, that being Colerain Town Center. And if they were to make pretty much any dimensional changes to the building, they would not be able to meet that setback to the PDB. Therefore, for our recommendation, we recommend approval of case ZA 2023-20 with the conditions as follows: none. And that will conclude my staff report.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Okay, at this time, we do need to open our public hearing. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
I'll motion to open a public hearing on case ZA 2023-20.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Becker?
Mr. Gehring,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Westfall,
Aye.
and Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Okay, and just as the previous case, we do not have anyone at this time signed in to speak. So just check in with the audience. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, we do need a motion to close the public hearing.
A motion to close the public hearing?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Gehring,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Westfall,
Aye.
and Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Okay. And at this time, do we have anyone who wishes to make a motion? I will make a motion to approve zoning case CA 2023-20. I was faster than you. Minor amendment to FDP case ZA 2016-09, 3955 Generation Drive.
I'll second.
Right side's winning tonight. So we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Gehring,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Westfall,
Aye.
and Ms. McMullen.
Yes. So the motion carries. All right. So for tonight's agenda, we have a lot of nones, no informal concept review, no old business, no new business. Does that still remain? Okay. No administration report, no announcements. So the next meeting is November 21st, 2023. So commissioners, staff, applicants, and all in attendance, thank you for being here tonight. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.